A very good morning, students. Welcome to your business studies class. So, till now in this chapter number 5, organizing, we had done till the delegation, and in the previous lecture, we had done the concept and importance of delegation along with the elements of delegation. Now we know that delegation is the transfer of authority from superior to subordinate. That is what we have learned in the concept of delegation. Today we will be discussing a more broader term, that is decentralization. Centralization and decentralization. So let's begin this topic with the discussion of the meaning centralization and decentralization. I hope you all have remembered this term centralization and decentralization, as we have studied the same terms in chapter number 2, principles of management, and they are one of the principles of Fayol's principles of management. So centralization means that concentration of authority at top level. An organization is centralized when the decision making authority is in the hands of top level management only. That means when all the decision making powers are in the hands of the top level, that organization is known as your centralized organization. Whereas decentralization refers to systematic delegation of authority throughout all the levels of management and in all the departments except that which can be exercised only at the central point. That means in decentralization, the organizations are dispersing the authority to all the levels of management. So we can say that decision making authority is pushed down the chain of command. In delegation, we had studied that delegation means transfer of authority from superior to subordinate with entrustment of responsibility and accountability. In decentralization, we had studied that it is systematic delegation of authority. So we can say that there is certain relationship between decentralization and delegation. So let's discuss the relationship between decentralization and delegation. Now, decentralization is the extension of delegation of authority to the lowest level of management in the organization. It is pushing down of authority to all the managerial levels. Whereas delegation means entrustment of responsibility and authority by superior to subordinate. Decentralization means distribution of authority throughout the organization. In delegation, authority is multiplied by 2 as authority is shared between superior and subordinate. Let's say I am your superior and you are my subordinate. So if I have delegated I have transferred certain authorities to you, so that is delegation. If that authority is given by the top level to all the levels of management, that is what is decentralization is. So in decentralization, authority is multiplied by many as authority is shared between different superiors and subordinates in all the departments and at all the levels of management. In delegation, authority is multiplied by 2 as authority is shared between superior and subordinate. So we can say that if we delegate the authority, we multiply it by 2. If we decentralize it, we multiply it by many. So this can come as a question also. So you have to write the relationship between decentralization and delegation in that particular question. Importance of decentralization. Now, decentralization is much more than a mere transfer of authority to the lower levels of management hierarchy. It is a philosophy that implies selective dispersal of authority. Please understand this term, selective dispersal of authority. What do we mean by selective? That means only the major decision making power or the major authority is retained with the top level management, and that top level management disperse selective authorities amongst all the levels of management, because they believe that people are competent, capable and resourceful. They can assume the responsibility for the effective implementation of their decision. So these are few importance of decentralization. First is develop initiative among subordinates, then develop managerial talent for future, quick decision making, relief to top management, facilitates growth and better control. So let's discuss these importance one by one. First importance is develops initiative among subordinates. Decentralization helps the lower level managers to take all those decisions which are for the improvement of enterprise on their own and to develop appropriate solutions for solving different kinds of difficulties or problems they face. It helps to promote self-reliance and confidence amongst the subordinates. Why? Because as we had discussed that when lower level managers are given freedom to take their own decisions, they learn to depend on their own judgment and feel constantly challenged to develop solutions for the problem they encounter. Next is develops managerial talent for the future. Decentralization gives the employees a chance to prove their abilities. They learn how to decide and develop managerial skills. It also helps to create a reservoir of qualified manpower who have the necessary potential to become dynamic leaders and who can be considered to fill up more challenging positions. So we can say that by decentralizing, we are giving opportunities to the employees to prove their talent by handling various assignments independently. Such kind of opportunities increase their level of knowledge and experience at all levels in the organization. Next importance is quick decision making. Now, under decentralization, authority to make decision is placed in the hands of those who are well aware of the realities of the situation and are responsible for executing the decisions. As a result, more accurate and faster decisions can be taken. There are also lesser chances of information getting distorted because it does not have to go through a long chain. So we can say that in decentralization, when we are decentralizing, when we have given the authorities at all the levels of management, so we are facilitating quick decision making. Next is relief to top management. Now, decentralization helps to reduce the workload of the top executives. They can devote greater time and attention to important policy matters by decentralizing authority for routine operational decisions. It reduces the need for direct supervision by the superior over the subordinates. Facilitates growth. Now, decentralization facilitates the growth and diversification of the enterprise. Each department or product division is given sufficient autonomy, that is independence for innovations and creativity. So when each department is doing its best, then the overall productivity increases and organization is able to generate more revenues which can be used for the growth and expansion of the organization. Last importance is better control. Now, managers at all the levels have adequate authority to make changes in work assignment, to change production schedules, to recommend supervision, and to take disciplinary actions. Therefore, more effective supervision can be exercised. Control can be made effective by evaluating the performance of each decentralized unit in the light of clear and predetermined standards such as balanced scorecard and management information system, etc. So thus, corrective action can be taken quickly at the right time. So, if we conclude, it must be noted that in spite of its benefit, decentralization should be applied with caution as it can lead to organizational disintegration if the departments start to operate on their own guidelines, which may be contrary to the interest of the organization. So, decentralization must always be balanced with centralization in areas of major policy decision. So, let's study now in the next slide that there has to be a balance between centralization and decentralization. Now, balance between centralization and decentralization. Centralization means concentration of power at the top level, and decentralization means dispersal or systematic delegation of authority at all the levels of management, and they are relative terms. So if we say that in an organization there is a complete centralization, it implies concentration of all the decision making functions at the apex of the management hierarchy. which would remove the need for management hierarchy. That means when all the decisions are taken by the top management, then there is no need for the management hierarchy, there is no need for the levels. So if there is a complete centralization, then it obviates, that is, remove the need for management hierarchy. Now, if there is complete decentralization, which implies delegation of all decision-making functions to the lower levels of the hierarchy, then it would obviate, that is, it would remove the need for higher managerial positions. So both the situations are unrealistic. So organization, we can say that organization can never be completely centralized or decentralized. There is a need for a balance between these coexisting forces. So it can be said that every organization will be characterized by both centralization and decentralization. So there's a statement given by Henry Fayol which says that everything which goes to increase the subordinate role is decentralization. How? That means whenever we are delegating the authorities at all the levels of management, so it is increasing the role of the subordinate. So it is said, it is called as decentralization. Everything which goes to decrease the role of subordinate, it is centralization. Why? Because in centralization, all the decision making powers are with the top management. So everything which goes to increase the subordinate role is decentralization. Everything which goes to decrease the role of subordinate, that is centralization. Now, difference between delegation and decentralization, very important. So we'll just quickly discuss the difference between delegation and decentralization. Definition: delegation is entrustment of responsibility and authority from a superior to subordinate. Decentralization is systematic delegation of authority to the lower levels in the organization. Relationship: delegation establish superior subordinate relationship. Decentralization denotes relationship between the top management and the various departments and division. Then control: the person who delegates keeps the power to control with himself. In decentralization, control is exercised in a general manner. The authority to control may be delegated to the lower levels also. Need: now delegation is essential if an executive wants to get the help from others in getting things done. Decentralization is not compulsory, it is the top management which decides the introduction of decentralization. Purpose: the purpose of delegation is to reduce a burden of a manager. Decentralization to increase the role of subordinates and giving them more autonomy. Process: delegation of authority is a process. Decentralization is not a process, it is the result policy decision taken by the top management. Then parties involved. In delegation, two parties are involved: the officer delegating the authority and the subordinate to whom the authority is delegated. In decentralization, it involves entire organization. It is concerned with all the managerial levels. Then responsibility and accountability. In delegation, full responsibility and accountability is not transferred. The executive remains liable to his superior even after delegation. Decentralization, full responsibility and accountability is transferred. The executives holding authorities are held liable. Freedom of action: there is a lesser freedom of action because there is a constant and continuous supervision by the manager. Decentralization, there is more freedom of action. Once the authority is decentralized, there is only periodic appraisal and no constant supervision. Withdrawal of authority: delegated authority can be withdrawn by the delegator. It is the individual officer's will to continue or withdraw. Decentralization: authority cannot be withdrawn easily. These authorities can be withdrawn only when the decision is taken to discontinue decentralization. So to recapitulate, we have done today the topic decentralization, its importance, relationship between decentralization and delegation, and the balance between centralization and decentralization. So these are few questions based on the topic. I hope you understood the topic very well. So with this, we are done with chapter number 5, organizing, and this is the mind map for the chapter organizing. Similar way, you can make your own mind maps using different color pens so that you have a bird eye view of the chapter. So we'll just quickly discuss that what all we had studied in this chapter. First, we had studied the meaning of organizing, then process and importance of organizing. Then we had studied about the organizational structure or framework, in which we had studied two types of organizational structure, functional and divisional structure. Then we had studied about the concept, that is delegation, its importance, its three elements: authority, responsibility and accountability, and then decentralization, centralization and the importance of decentralization, and the types of organization, that is formal organization and informal organization. So I hope this chapter is clear to you all. Thank you so much, children.